Okay, what if a score of 15 points or greater resulted in a prize? So what if you only had to score 15? Would that affect Josh's decision? Well, yes. The lower quartile in that data was 15. The lower quartile was 15. So most players would win if they only needed 15. So if it was lowered to 15, then that would meet his criteria, and he should play, because if it was 15 to win, most of the people do score 15 points or more. Okay, 75% of the people score 15 or more. So he should definitely play if they lowered the amount to 15 points to win. Okay, number 3 is store collects data on the sales of DVD players each week for 3 months. The manager determines that the data has a range of 62 players and decides that the weekly sales were very inconsistent. Use the statistics in the table. Here's our statistics to decide if the manager is correct. Okay, so we have, the minimum, the maximum, and the upper and lower quartile. So he found the range, 78 minus 16, and found a range of 62. And because of that, he said, whoa, our sales are all over the place, right? There's this huge range of sales. So he's saying, whoa, some days we do great, some days we do horrible. What's going on? We need to be more consistent. Well, let's look at the lower quartile and the upper quartile. 72 minus 58, let's look at that range, because remember, that's where the box is going to be in your data. And the box is where most of your data is. So the range for the box of the box plot, or the interquartile range, is only 14. That's a much smaller number than 62. So what he did is they had this outlier, this really small outlier, and that made it look like, oh, there's a huge range here. Our sales are too inconsistent, when in fact, most of the data is around 58 to 72. And that has a much smaller range of only 14, so the sales were actually pretty consistent. So, no, the manager is not correct. The interquartile range was only 14. So most of the data is between 56 and 78, which would be a much smaller range, indicating much more consistent sales. Okay, 78 because that is the maximum. So if we were looking at the box plot, this would be 56, this would be 72, and then this would be 78, the biggest amount. So most of our data is over here. We just had this one skewing point of 16 way down here. But most of the sales are around this range, which is very consistent. They just had that one really bad day that skewed those numbers, made it look like they were very inconsistent, when in fact, most of the time, they're selling between 56 and 78. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.